Yes, I was showing off my shirt. Deal with it. Hey everyone. First video that I'm recording in the new year, and I figured why not count down my top 10 movies of last year. I don't know how spoilery I'm going to get, so I'm just going to put out a general spoiler alert. You have been warned. Starting off, number 10 is Hundreds of Beavers. For those of you who don't know, this is a throwback to silent films that at times kind of feels like you're watching a Let's Play. Basically, this movie is about an alcoholic Applejack salesman in the 19th century who becomes a fur trader and gets better at it over time, so it feels like you're watching someone on a Let's Play. And eventually has to fight, as the title suggests, hundreds of beavers. Or, sorry, kill hundreds of beavers. Well, kind of both. It makes sense once you get to it. And it feels like you're watching a silent film. The beavers are very obviously just people in suits.
Woo!
There's really only 3 or 4 characters that we really know, or 3 or 4 human characters anyway, who have any decent amount of screen time, and their actors are all giving it their all. They completely understood the assignment. This movie is 108 minutes long, so longer than you might expect. However, it does what the best comedies do. It doesn't just reuse the same jokes. It has running gags, and so it reuses some of the same jokes, but it's never reusing them the same way. It's always putting a new spin on an old joke, or taking 2 old jokes and combining them into a new joke. And it is consistently refreshing in all of the new gags they keep coming up with, because this is very much in the vein of like Charlie Chaplin or that type of slapstick. And it's so goddamn funny. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 9 is Love Lies Bleeding. I was a little bit disappointed by Saint Maud, but this is a step up for director Rose Glass. To be fair, Saint Maud was good, but it just felt a little generic. This is a completely different beast. This isn't even horror, this is a romantic crime thriller. Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien are both great. You also have Ed Harris and Dave Franco and Jenna Malone, who are basically rounding out the supporting cast, and they're all really good. Script is tight. The music is really damn good. The visual language in this film is just so good. And I do like that it shows, it's not like glorifying steroid use, it shows the consequences and the downside of using them, which really outweigh the benefits, but it takes place in the 80s when they didn't really know any better, so whatever. Or some people didn't know any better anyway. And there is like a believable romance between our 2 leads. It's not just instant. Like, we see the relationship develop over time, and it works.
So I gotta go to work today, but do you maybe want to hang out later?
You got a job already?
Yeah, I'm waitressing at this shooting range place just outside of town. It's like a ton of gun nuts weirdos. It pays pretty good, though.
Oh, man, don't work there.
Why not?
My dad runs it.
Oh, my God, I met him yesterday.
Fun.
Wait, the bug guy?
Yeah, the bug guy. So where are you staying?
I don't know, actually, I'm not sure yet.
What does that mean?
I was gonna ask if maybe I could crash here a couple nights. I mean, like, it's just not get paid, you know? Like, if I can afford a room somewhere. Like,
You can stay here.
I need to sleep on the couch.
No, shut the fuck up. You can stay here.
Score is 4 out of 5. Number 8 is Abigail. Radio Silence are on a roll. 4 movies in 6 years and all of them bangers. Every creative team should be so lucky. This movie takes inspiration from Dracula's Daughter, but it is ultimately its own thing. It also seems to take a bit of inspiration from The Usual Suspects, but that's a bit more subtle. Alicia Weir, I hope I said that right, absolutely shines in the titular role. And the rest of the cast are at the top of their game. Catherine Newton and Melissa Barrera are no stranger to horror, but it is wonderful seeing them in the same movie. Kevin Durand is a treat as usual, and Dan Stevens is just wonderfully scummy. This movie has what might be the funniest line of 2024.
I got him!
Sammy, those are fucking onions.
Well,
Like Radio Silence's other films, this movie is a confident blend of horror and humor. And there's even some realism in there. Like, sure, Abigail may be an immortal vampire, or at least an unaging vampire. Some people think that's not immortal, but like jellyfish are biologically immortal. Moving on. She may be a vampire with all these supernatural powers, but she is still a child physically. She has the size and body mass of a child. So when 6'6" Kevin Durand body slams you, you're going down because he's heavier than you are. It's little things like that that just add to the experience. And Angus Cloud, rest in peace, doesn't have a very big role in this movie, but he makes every minute count. My score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 7 is Cuckoo. This movie just presses all the right emotional buttons. It's effectively scary, the characters feel like real people, you care about the protagonist. Just like Abigail, we have Dan Stevens being delightfully evil, shall we say. Like in universe, it makes sense that some characters might not notice, but to us, it's obvious that he's evil and he is chewing the scenery. Hunter Schafer is killing it. Jessica Henwick, I hope I say this right. Marton Xokas, I don't know how you pronounce that. That's my best guess. And Jan Bluthart, I know how to pronounce that. They're all really good. Mila Liu, hope I said that right, the child actor, she is surprisingly good considering how hit and miss child actors can be. This movie is not perfect. There are a few minor nitpicks, but none of that really matters because it keeps swerving. It keeps going in directions you're not expecting. And by the time we get to the climax, you're just wondering what the hell's gonna happen next. And it works. Score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 6 is Challengers. I have never really been all that interested in tennis, and this movie didn't change that, but when I watched this movie, during the movie, I care about tennis, because they film it and they present it in such a way that it looks badass.
Ready, Play. Fifteen love. All.
Also, from a writing standpoint, this movie is a textbook example of why it's crucial to build conflict and unresolved problems between characters. Even the most basic scenes feel full because we know all that stuff in the background and we want it to be resolved. The script is tight and it is filled with tension, both sexual and interpersonal. And yeah, those relationships are what make up this conflict and this story, and it works so well. And then you have the musical score from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, which just adds to the experience. It is fantastic. And yeah, this is a sexual thriller that actually works and at both the sex side of things and the thriller side of things. Imagine that. Score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 5 is Monkey Man. At this point, if you're calling this a John Wick ripoff after seeing it, I'm going to assume you've seen less than 10 movies in your entire life. There are some similarities on the surface, but once you actually get down below the surface, they are very different beasts. And they are both very good in their own right. This is an impressive feature directorial debut from Dev Patel. One similarity to John Wick is that this is an action movie that is about one man's revenge. And that's one of the few similarities. This is a movie that is filled to the brim with Indian culture and different aspects of it. This movie explores themes of corruption, a caste system, which is really never a good idea, poverty, discrimination, and it's also about the Hijra, I hope I'm saying that right, community in India. In South Asia, that is how people refer to people who are trans or intersex. It deals with their struggles as well, and that was portrayed really well. The action is really fucking good for a first-time feature director. And I like that it's not just one man plowing through everything. He is the underdog in most fights. He struggles. And it works. Score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 4 is Rebel Ridge. At its core, this movie's story is nothing we haven't seen before, but it doesn't go the normal route of telling the story. It has some twists and turns, and they work because they make it they make it less predictable. The whole cast is giving it their all. We have Aaron Pierre, who prior to this I had only seen in Old, and Old was not good. So this was definitely a step up for him. He is fantastic. We have Don Johnson as the big bad. He is great. And the rest of the cast is all good, if not great. Musical score is Not the most memorable, but it's solid. It's well shot, it's well edited, pacing is good, doesn't really feel overstuffed, it doesn't feel like it's too long. This is not purely an action movie, but the action we get is really fucking good. Especially with the fact that our protagonist, for most of it, is not trying to kill anyone, but he still is willing to fight if it comes to that.
Here come your peeps.
Chief!
You want to honor that deal, or do I gotta transition to
Put some
E?
distance between you.
Let's not do that.
Hey! Let go and move back.
Okay. Don't shoot.
Move the fuck away from
all
me.
right. Okay.
Okay, real quick, we're gonna stay cool and go inside.
And the ending is just the cherry on top. Score is 4.5 out of 5. Number 3 is Deadpool and Wolverine. Anyone who says that Ryan Reynolds doesn't understand this character is objectively wrong. It's not even a matter of opinion, you're just wrong. I don't know how, but Sean Levy managed to combine the humor of Deadpool with the seriousness of Wolverine and actually make it work. Well done, sir. I do kind of wish that Deadpool's originally supporting cast had more screen time, but given the story they went with, it kind of makes sense. I do wish we had gotten to see some variants of like Negasonic or Colossus, but oh well. This movie works not just because of the yin and yang relationship of the protagonist, but because it puts the characters in extreme situations, and it works. It's what Michael Bay does, except sometimes he does it poorly. But here they do it well. I love the variants we do get, and I love the overall theme of, yes, some of these movies are god-awful, and maybe deserve to be forgotten, but there are still people who put their heart and soul into making them, and their efforts deserve to be remembered. And that pops up in the end credits with the montage of all of like the Sony and Fox superhero movies, Marvel movies. And one detail I noticed, is that they did not include Dark Phoenix or New Mutants, even though they're part of the X-Men series and we see all the other X-Men movies. But those movies were released after Disney's acquisition of Fox. So it makes sense that they wouldn't be included because they're just showing the movies from before that acquisition. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are fantastic. The supporting cast are all giving it their all. They all understand the assignment. Emma Corrin is underrated as hell. I wish we had gotten more of her, but she is a large part of why this movie is so damn fun.
Whoa. I don't want the smoke. I don't have any beef with you. I just want to save my friends. I want to go home.
Well, the thing is, I could get you home,
Good.
but I don't want to.
Not good.
What do you want, Wade Wilson?
Her fingers are inside me, but not in a good way.
My brother could enter one's mind with a thought. I have to get my hands dirty.
Oh, gosh.
I've got you.
The action is great, and the Honda Odyssey fight. Oh my god, I have owned a Honda Odyssey, a 2002 Honda Odyssey. It did not look like that, but about the right size. Anyway, I mean, even without the subtext, it's just an awesome and hilarious scene, but with the subtext, it just elevates it that much more. And I love the ending. I love that we finally get characters who originally maybe didn't have the happiest of endings now get a happy ending. And I love it so much. My score is 5 out of 5. Number 2 is Dune Part 2. All great stories, regardless of medium or genre, have one thing in common. They are built on strong emotional cores. It can be any emotion or emotions, but it has to be strong. Star Wars is built on hope. Star Trek is built on the thrill of exploration. John Carpenter's The Thing is built on fear and paranoia. Dune Part 1 is built on the relationship between a mother and son. Part 2 expands on that, but Part 2 is built on a love story, but with the spin of the mother from the first movie serving as an obstacle to the love story. And it works. And it helps that the visuals in this movie are outstanding. The musical score, just everyone upped their game. Like, the first movie is great, but it had some small issues. Like, it definitely felt like a Part 1. This movie is able to build on that, and it's just everyone upped their game. Everyone is firing on all cylinders.
Better. Better? Just better.
And it's so fucking great.
You humiliated our family. You humiliated me. Kiss or die. Or even not.
The action is a small step up. It was already great, but here it's just better. The writers do what any good writer should. They are constantly yes-anding things, like adding levels of threat. And I like that from my understanding, Paul Atreides is kind of the protagonist's journey to villain. And I am super excited to see what we get in Part 3. The score is 5 out of 5. Alright, finally, my number 1 is Nosferatu. Robert Eggers is just operating on a whole other level. Not necessarily above other filmmakers, just adjacent to other filmmakers, and maybe above some of them. Lily Rose Depp may or may not ever beat the Nepo Baby accusations, but this movie is proof that she can, in fact, act. She is arguably the star of the show. Unlike in the original Nosferatu, Ellen is the main character here, and it's fitting that she gets top billing. Unlike Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, which is a great fucking movie, this one is actually just a straight remake of the 1922 silent film, albeit with certain changes made so it's not just a carbon copy, which is for the better, because as good and as influential as the original Nosferatu is, there are some elements of it that are rather cheesy in hindsight. Like Orlok just casually carrying his coffin around town, being like, alright, where's my house? Ah, there it is. Or the fact that when the carriage picks up Thomas, it's very obviously just Orlok wearing a heavy coat with the high collar and the hat. Here, there is no driver in the carriage. It's just the carriage, which adds to the uneasiness and the ethereal and supernatural feel we get of Thomas just being in this unfamiliar land. The visual storytelling is phenomenal. I already mentioned Lily Rose Depp. Nicholas Hoult is fantastic, and unlike in the original, or at least expanding on the original, these two are deeply maybe not obsessively, these two are just deeply, hopelessly in love with each other, and heavily implied that they really, really like having sex. Which is honestly refreshing to see, even in this day and age. I'll get back to that. Bill Skarsgård is borderline unrecognizable as Count Orlok, and he's like emaciated, he's got this supernaturally deep voice, or I think supernaturally, maybe that's just a voice that Bill can do, I don't know. Or maybe they used like audio editing to like lower his voice in pitch. Either way, it sounds creepy as fuck, and I love it. I don't know what language he's speaking, but when he's speaking English, he's putting on what, to my untrained ears, is a pretty damn good Transylvanian accent. And I like that, like, his outfit, like the fur coat and whatnot, to my knowledge, is an accurate depiction of what people from that era would wear.
During the most irregular dreams, I fear I'm taken ill.
It is a black omen to journey in poor health. You will remain and well rest yourself.
I must object, my lord.
You will obey this my counsel.
But, my lord...
Count?
I mean, that's Robert Eggers for you. He is a perfectionist when it comes to historical accuracy for whatever time periods his movies take place in, which makes it even more glaring that in The Witch, or The Vivitch, uses the double V with the space, which has never been used ever in history. Double V has been a thing, but not the way that it's shown there. So that's like the one glaring... Okay, sorry, it's a different movie. I digress, back to Nosferatu. This was still in the era of, oh, this woman is hysterical. She is crazy. We shouldn't believe her. It's that era. But no, so she has been having these episodes. Basically, she is an abuse survivor, and Orlok is her abuser. And so she has been having these, you could call them manic episodes, I guess, and where because of her connection to him, sometimes, like, he has more control over her, and sometimes she is more in control. And so after this, it's rather ambiguous episode where it's unclear how much control he has over her or how much of it is just her trying to spite him, she essentially goads Thomas into banging her right then and there. So afterwards, I don't know, there are multiple ways you can interpret the scene, but she seems to have what alcoholics refer to as a moment of clarity. Or maybe it's like coming down from a manic episode and coming back to reality, where she is trying to push Thomas away. She's like, get away. I am sick in the head. I am unclean. You shouldn't be near me. He's stubbornly embracing her. Never. He doesn't care. He loves her, warts and all. And that is just so refreshing to see. That level of unconditional love between a couple in a movie. I fucking love it. Also, Ralph Fiennes, I hope I pronounced that right, and Willem Dafoe are both fantastic in their respective roles. Score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, what are your favorites? What do you think I missed? What do you think I should have had ranked higher or lower? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. If you don't like the video, tell me why. Try to be constructive. And then subscribe anyway. You'll be notified when I upload a new video, and watch that one and tell me why that one sucks. Or maybe where I've improved, whatever the case may be. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.